Hello everyone, and welcome to the Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Care Network. I'm Dean, your host of this channel, and I'll be taking you on a journey through narcissism and understanding the narcissist. So today I'm going to be presenting episode 44 part 2. This is a continuation of episode 44 part 1, which was entitled Why I Believe My Person Was a Narcissist. So we're going to get right into episode 2 here, and I'm first just going to say that I'm going to give you some examples here, some more examples here of why I believed my narcissist was actually a narcissist, and this person I had been dealing with for quite some span of time, with their behavior and whatever they were doing presented as being narcissistic type behavior. So we're going to get right into it here. So I'm going to give you an example here, more specific examples here, and at the end of this video I'm also going to be presenting a link to a website that is going to present you with 15 different examples of what narcissists actually do, so you can just compare with that particular website what exactly I'm saying here with my points here in this particular video about what I was dealing with my narcissist. So we'll get right into it here. So here's one example here. Entitlement. My narcissist often acted like she was entitled to things. She'd often say, "Oh, my ex needs to know that he should respect me, or this guy that I'm dealing with knows, or this person that I'm dealing with knows that they should respect me. I don't deserve otherwise, and I don't deserve whatever behavior is being put forth towards me because of whatever reason was going on." She would present many of these examples. I have many text messenger examples of her talking like this about certain individuals that she may be discussing, and she just seemed to exhibit a lot of entitlement things when you would be dealing with her in the confines of whatever was going on in our relationship. So this is just another example of one of the things that narcissists actually demonstrate, and my narcissist did demonstrate things of this nature. I would challenge my narcissist to present any messenger dialogue I've ever had with her about anything stating anything similar like she was talking about to anyone. She wouldn't be able to present anything like this because I don't myself demonstrate dialogue of this nature with anyone I'm concerned with or that I've been dealing with like this. This dialogue of a privileged nature or of an entitled nature is just not the type of dialogue that I put forth to people. This is something that she did to me quite often, where she would just be just really ragging on people that she felt were beneath her or weren't dealing with her in a way that she thought she should be dealt with. And at times she even often pushed herself off as being much better than others, and I actually even do have messenger evidence of this in the evidence that I've gathered over the years of dealing with her. So another point here would be control. She was often at her worst when she was completely out of control in a situation with anything, and you could see this. She seemed to exhibit almost constant on and off disappointment with the factor that she felt that she had been sold short in life on some level, either by people who were around her, or sold short by her husband, or by ex-boyfriends, or whatever was going on. And again, this is something that narcissists do display. Another example here is she would use terms like, "Oh, I don't think it's just me that's to blame in a situation." This was a well-used quote by her when she was dealing with me, and again, a quote used by narcissists quite often. When I caught her being involved with a local friend that she had around her that she had known for 5 or 6 years, and I had known that she was involved with this individual at the time because I had already started investigating her, I called her on this, and she just pretty much blew it off like narcissists do, like I didn't know what I was talking about. Although she did admit that she had been spending time with this person, but refused to admit that she had been actually physically and sexually involved with this person. And I do have evidence. I spoke to this person at a previous time, and I presented evidence in previous videos of her goings on with this particular individual, and I do have solid messenger evidence of this, not only in my dealings with her directly, but because the person that she was involved with I dealt with directly after I outed her in late December 2020. So another thing here that she displayed with me was lack of boundaries. When I became involved with a new person that was in my life, She stated several times to me, "I don't care if you're seeing her. I want to see you, and I don't care if she's in your life." She would provide me with examples of this and said these things to me a number of times. And this obviously indicated that she didn't care that I had a person around me that I was involved with. She felt entitled to still see me and still be involved with me. Again, I have messenger evidence of this that I have presented in the past and could present to anybody who would be interested in seeing this evidence. This is something that she would do. Again, a lack of boundaries with people here. And she would often obscure boundaries if it was beneficial to her personal gain. Another thing she would do is demonstrate what I came to know afterwards is any lack of real empathy. She would definitely put forth cognitive empathy towards me, but as I began to investigate her as a narcissist, I started to be able to recognize that that empathy was really of a cognitive form. That is to say that it wasn't real, heartfelt empathy that we put forward to people in real emotional ways. And she would show this not only to me, but she would show this when she would be talking about things with other people in her dialogue about other people as well. Another thing that she would do is everything that got put across to her, or many things that got put across to her, would sometimes be interpreted as a threat to her, even though I was not threatening her in any particular way. You never knew what way she was going to react at certain times, because it was almost like walking on eggshells with this person. And this, again, is a thing that narcissists make you feel. They feel like you are walking on eggshells with them, like you can't say something, because you're suddenly going to be met by the adversity of her not understanding whatever is being put towards her in whatever way you were actually communicating with her. Another thing she also displayed, which is indicative of a narcissist, is she displayed what's referred to as character splitting. That is to say that narcissists' character split. They do things where everything is okay in one instance but not okay in another instance. A good example of this is like when something bad happens to her, it's like everything that's bad is happening is being caused by somebody else. It's somebody else's fault why this is going on. It's not my fault why this is going on, like this. But suddenly when everything good is happening to the narcissist, oh, that's just because the narcissist is making everything positive happen to them, and not because it's being affected by anybody else who's bringing them positivity in that way. Another thing I noticed about my narcissist is that she seemed to display quite extreme anxiety from time to time. This is a thing that a lot of narcissists suffer from, and often another thing that they can display to you. And it was at times almost out of control anxiety, it seemed to me, depending on what she was dealing with me. Again, this is a thing that narcissists do display as high anxiety when you're dealing with them, talking to them, or whatever way that you're dealing with them. She would also display at times a lack of vulnerability. You know, I was always a very open and very vulnerable person with her. I never had a wall up to her when I became involved with her. I had, as I've said in previous videos, I knew her for like 15 years on and off as a friend before that, so when we did become romantically involved, I was completely open to letting her in my life. I had no walls up whatsoever, and she definitely saw that. But at times when I would like look for her vulnerability towards me, at times there was none. And this is again something that narcissists do demonstrate. Another thing that she would demonstrate with me was actually poor communication skills. Either she was electing not to be comprehensive with me in a proper way, or she just couldn't understand what I was putting forth towards her, or she would take what I was putting towards her in an attacking kind of way, or an aggressive kind of way, where she would become defensive. She would not understand what I was putting forth towards her. Perhaps she was electing also not to understand what I was putting forth towards her, because she just didn't want to, being a narcissist, and was not absorbing my point of view. I should say, though, that in her defense, she was diagnosed with adult ADHD in 2018. Around that time, her daughter, just a short few months before that, was also diagnosed with ADHD. And at the time, I had observed ADHD elements in her behavior because I have a psychological background. myself, and I was actually able to see these elements within her behavior. At the time, I did point out to her that I thought she may be suffering from either ADD or from ADHD, and of course she took complete absolute offense to this when I singled this out with her and didn't really want to talk about it. But she did come back a number of months later when I was dealing with her in the confines of a relationship and actually say to me that she had just been medically diagnosed by a doctor who had assessed her as having adult ADHD in a rather severe form. So as it turns out, I was actually correct in my deduction of her having adult onset or adult ADHD, and she later found out that she did indeed have that. I was in no way pointing this out to her to disparage her in any way. It's just something that I observed, having some psychological background in myself and being familiar with her for such a long span of time. But of course, you know, when you're dealing with a narcissist, they do not want you to single out anything that's wrong with them in any particular way. I know personally that my narcissist definitely suffers from bipolar disorder. She may suffer from dissociative disorder of some defined type. I'm not really sure exactly what that is, but I know that these things are definitely present within her character makeup because I have seen them, and having studied her now again for a good 2 years and studied her more closely from a psychological standpoint, she definitely displayed some of these things. So see, these are basically some of the examples as to why I think my narcissist was a narcissist. Like I said, I'm going to be posting a link to another website where you can look up 15 of the major aspects that would indicate to you that you may be dealing with a narcissist. These are just the examples that I have of why I feel my narcissist was actually a narcissist. And you may agree or not agree with some of the points here, but I can tell you that all these points that I picked out in here for you are all factual ones. I saw all of these types of things, these behaviors or whatever in my narcissist. They were solidly there. And as I became more aware of her being a narcissist, I could see these things more prevalently within her behaviors. So this has been episode 44, part 2. I hope you guys, gain some knowledge from this or whatever. Maybe this can help you with the narcissist that you're dealing with, or whatever person it is you're dealing with that you may suspect of being a narcissist. You may see some similarities in some of the stuff that I've talked about here. And if you do, that's good for you. Maybe you'll find some benefit from these videos that I've offered here. So I'm just going to be saying, I hope you guys have a great day. This has been episode 44. Stay tuned for some more episodes coming up, and I'll have some more content posted for you guys shortly. Hope you guys have a great day.